Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for joining us on the Unreal with Glover U podcast, where every week Jeff Glover will dive deep into the questions that you're asking. He understands the challenges you are facing on a day-to-day basis because he still works every day in the front lines of real estate, with him and his team closing over 1,000 homes per year. We are currently on episode 2 of a 7-part series where Jeff is going to go deep into the 7 steps of an effective real estate agent's business plan. On this episode, Jeff will go over step 2, source your business, where he will help you understand where every single deal is coming from and how to double down on those that are giving you the best ROI. You can download a blank copy of the plan at www.gloveru.com/2019 plan. Now, let's hear from Jeff Glover on continuing with your business plan for 2019.
So I want to understand where every single deal is coming from, and I want you to make a decision to double down on those that are giving you the best ROI. So in order to double down on those that are giving you the best ROI, I need to identify where you're getting business and where your strengths are. You know, a lot of agents, I think, make the mistake to focus on areas. Well, I got good business for my sphere. Let me pick up another source. Let me dabble with expireds, or let me go to internet leads, instead of just mastering and getting better at what they know. We do a series called Mastering Your 3, and if you go on to Glover U's Facebook or online, they're on the Glover U Facebook. So that's Glover space the letter U. You'll be able to see in the videos I do a series called Master Your 3, where I identify essentially 6 sources of business that I believe I've mastered at a pretty high level. Of course, there's always room for improvement. And you can go in there and I give anywhere from 20 minutes up to 40 minutes of solid information of ways you can master your sources of business. But before we do that, I got to understand what you're naturally good at. So part 2 of the Glover U plan is sourcing your business. So that means part 1, we did all the projections, basically where you're going to end up in terms of the numbers. Part 2 is all about, okay, where did it come from? All right, so I want to know, and these are a sampling of sources of business. I want to know how many deals you got from your sphere of influence or referrals from your sphere of influence. Who did business directly with you. There's 2 types of business you get from your sphere and past clients: direct business or indirect. Direct is them actually doing a deal with you. Indirect is them referring you. So I want to know how many sphere of influence deals you did and how many sphere of influence referrals you got. Same thing with past clients and past client referrals. Now, there's an old rule of thumb that says you should get about a 10% return on your database. I will tell you, for my first couple of years when I started making an effort towards getting more business from my database, that number was more like 3 to 5% return. And what that means is if I have 100 people in my database, then I'm going to do anywhere from 3 to 5 transactions in my first year of making an effort of going after it from the database. Now, that doesn't even mean out of 100 people that 3 to 5 people will move. Now, it may be more. I just might not get their business. But that means the total amount of transactions available from the database should be 10%. When you're starting off, it's probably going to be more like 3 to 5 year 1. Year 2, what I experienced, it was more like 5 to 7% in year 2. And then year 3 and beyond, we're getting close to a 10% return on the amount of people in our database. You know, it's amazing how for years and years, sphere of influence and past clients was never a big thing for us. I was taught that there's 2 types of people in this world: people you know and people you don't know. Which group is bigger? Well, of course, the group of people you don't know. So I was taught that if you go after the group of people that you don't know and you get their home sold fast, or you sell them a home quickly, then you're going to have repeat and referral business. The reality is that it's more than just getting their home sold quickly, and it's more than just giving good customer service. It takes a little bit more than that, or just stating give them good service or find them a home quickly. So I will tell you, I'm proud to say now that after making a good 4 or 5 year effort, sphere of influence business and past client business is our number 1 source of business. You know, the last couple of years, we do about 1,000 transactions a year, and a good 350 to 400 of those transactions a year come from ours and our agents, past clients, and centers of influence. And oh, by the way, guess how many people are in the database between myself and all of our associates? About 4,000 people. So there you have the 350 to 400 transactions a year that we get from past clients and center of influence. So it's a whole nother webinar on how that is and podcast on what we do. We'll cover that at a later date. But I want to know your business sources, where your business is coming from. Next, you have for sale by owners. Of course, after that, you have expireds. Now, I believe going into the next market, going into the market shift, for sell by owners will be a big source, but expires will be an even bigger source because there's going to be more sellers that need our help. So if you're one of those agents that really focuses on for sale by owners and gets a lot of business from for sale by owners, I'm not going to tell you to throw them in the trash. What I will tell you is to shift your focus a little bit more towards expireds, because there's going to be a lot more expired opportunities than there will be for sale by owner opportunities. Why is that? Well, that's because the consumer confidence in being able to sell it on their own declines in a softer market. Expireds increase for the obvious reason, less listings actually sell. So if you're out there thinking, well, gosh, I get a lot of business from sell by owners, that's a big piece of business for me, I would shift that mindset more towards expireds. So then after expires, you have just listed, just sold calls, also known as circle prospecting. You've probably heard the scripts. There's plenty of them out there. If you need them, you can download them at gloveru.com. Just listed, just sold script. I used to do this at the door and over the phone. Stopping by to let you know of a new listing that just came on the market in your neighborhood. We know when one home sells, usually 2 or more sell right away. So I was wondering, when do you plan on moving? How long have you lived here, right? The scripts have been out for years. Okay, why is that effective? Because the old reticular activator. What's the reticular activator? Well, the reticular activator, basically, it's like whenever you buy a new car. Next thing you know, you see that car on the road everywhere. Same thing. All right, reticular activator is essentially the Smiths listed, the Joneses listed for their home for sale, and the Smiths are driving home from work one day. They see that the Joneses have listed their home for sale. What do you know? Honey, we've been talking about selling. How did they beat us to this? We need to get our home on the market. So there's a lot of business in just listed, just sold, also known as circle prospecting. After that, you have social media, Facebook. Business that you get from Facebook and social media. I want to know where it's coming from, how much you're getting. Sign calls. Yard signs. Believe it or not, people still call on yard signs. So I want to know how many calls you're getting from those. Just listed, just sold doors, right? Just like the calls, you use the same script at the door. Whenever I didn't have an appointment, that's what I did. Why? Because it was my job to get in front of someone every single day. So just listed, just sold doors. Expired mailings, any kind of direct mail that you're doing for sell by owner mailing, any sort of direct mail. Now, farming is mass mailing, right? Sending out thousands, that's different. Direct mail is someone you know that is in need of your help, all right? I want to know how many come from there. I want to know how much business comes from open house. By the way, in a market shift, you get less business from an open house. So you're either going to have to, A, do more open houses, or B, increase your activities. Talk about that in another podcast. Next, I want to know how many appointments came from your team of ISAs. If you have a prospector or a team of ISAs, I want to know how many people actually walked into the office and said, hey, I'm here. I want to know who can help me. Zillow, Trulia, how many deals did you do from internet leads? Agent referrals, online reviews is a big one now, and that's going to continue to get bigger as the market shifts. People not only want the best or an expert, they want the most referred, who is getting the highest online reviews. That one is not going anywhere. And then just listed, just sold postcards, and also farming. If you're sending out just listed, just sold postcards, great. Or if you're doing what I call hybrid farming, which you can go back to Glover U online on the Facebook page and click on the videos. You'll see I do a series called Master Your 3 on hybrid farming. And then, of course, there's some room for some other ones. So step 2 is a crucial part of the business plan, because I want to know where your business is coming from. If I know where your business is coming from, then I know how you can double down. All right, doubling down is essentially taking the activities that you're doing and increasing them, or taking the activities that you're doing and adding to them. I'll give you for instance. For me, I started out with expireds. That was a big source of business for me. Okay, so let's just say I made expired phone calls and I got 20 sales, 30 sales, 40 sales. Well, if I want to add another 15 or 20 sales, maybe I could send mailings. All right, maybe I could call twice a day instead of once a day. Maybe I could go door knock, my favorite 1 or 2. Those are examples of doubling down. So if you want some other examples on doubling down, go to our Master Your 3 series on the Glover U Facebook. Step 1, I want to know your projections. Part 2, I need to know where your business is coming from. Next up in our next podcast will be part 3, your production goals for the year, and I can't wait to talk to you about that.
Thank you for taking the time to join Jeff today on the Unreal with Glover U podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Search for Unreal with Glover U on iTunes or Podbean today. Until next time, remember, the number one reason why agents fail is because of the lack of self-discipline and motivation.